Hi there, it's Mal from itsawinner.co.uk. This video is slightly different and it's designed to help you make better poker videos. I'd like to start by thanking Gareth Whitty, who can be found at garethwhitty.co.uk as my radio co-host, and he's helped me with a lot of this information. Now, Gareth's motto is Google it, download it and use it for free, and this is exactly what you'll be able to do if you follow the advice in this video. The video that you're watching right now has been recorded, compressed, encoded using the techniques that I give here, so if you like how it looks, this is how you can do it. Now, what makes a good video? Well, you need good audio, so you need to be able to hear what the players are saying, and you need to be able to see the action as well. Now that includes, for me, I like to be able to see the player names on the screen, the amount that they're betting, and the size of the stacks. And also you want smooth pictures. Well, what you have to be aware of is in the encoding process, when you record your initial video, it's in a format known as FBR if you use my technique. Now that needs to be changed to AVI, but I don't convert, and also I then encode it down using Microsoft Encoder. But what you have to be aware of is a PokerTube also compresses, so you need as best quality that you possibly can, so that the video compresses well on the last part of the compression process. So what I would recommend that you do is to download the following. Now I notice that you can't see the second link at the bottom of this slide. What you first need to do is go to bbsoftware.co.uk. If you can follow that link and download BB Flashback Recorder and Player. Now this is free at the time of recording, but there is a paid for version of this that they might encourage you to buy. I think it's about $89, but you don't need to do that. You can do it for the free version. Now the free version, like a lot of these things, you have to do a little bit of detective work to find it. I think if you search on Google for BB Flashback Standard, BB Flashback Express, that's the free version, and you should be able to, I think, get that for free. Keep looking around because it is a little bit tricky to find, to be honest. And the second program that you need to follow my advice on how to do these poker videos is Microsoft Expression Encoder 4. Again, there is a paid version of this, and I'm just going to grab this because I'm going to make it bigger for you. Let's make that 24. Might break everything, but okay. So there you can see the link a little bit better. Use that link or search for Microsoft Expression Encoder 4 in Google and it should come up. Again, like I said, you can't get it for free. You have to do a little bit of searching. At the time of recording, which is July 2010, you can get this for free. So the first part of the process is that you need to open BB Flashback Recorder and click on Record New Movie. Now it takes you through a few steps to get this how you want to record it right, and this is the settings that I use. Step 1 is the sound tab. Make sure that you tick record sound. There's nothing worse that if you forget to do it, or if your computer for some reason, I think the default is ticked, but make sure it is ticked because otherwise you'll talk into your mic for ages and you'll have no sound, which is really frustrating. If you're doing a recording over the internet, because me and Gareth use TalkShoe to broadcast it, but we use TeamViewer, we use Skype, and you have to click, if you're recording with a third party, click record PC speakers and record sound in a separate track. But because I'm just talking for myself, I just click the top option, which is record from the USB microphone, and it should detect whatever microphone that your computer has, whether that's an internal one or an external one, and then you can just make sure you click the right one. A good way of testing if you're using a third-party one is when you speak into the microphone, your little sound thing won't move, but the person who's on the other end of the phone, it will move, so as long as it's picking that up, you're laughing. The format at the bottom, the quality of the sound pickup is 22.05 kilohertz, and that's fine. And click MP3 compression. That's all you need to do, and then just click Next. Unless you want to get funky with a webcam, which not many people do, just click Next again. Step 3 is the record mode. Now I do frames from between 12 and 15 frames per second, and that's recommended. I normally use 15, but obviously the more you use, the bigger the video, so just play around with it, see what works. When you're happy, click Next. Step 4 is to select area to record. You have the option of the full screen. Now I've got a 22-inch monitor, so that'll be a big file. Again, the smaller the area, the smaller the video, but you've got to do it within reason. You know, you do want to get that quality at the end. So I select window because I usually just tape the poker table window, or you can do region, and then click finish. Just follow the last few prompters, and then what will happen is the background will go black and it'll start recording. The reason it does that is to reduce the impact of your computer, so it just shuts down non-essential systems and starts recording. When you've finished recording, you'll get a pop-up box that asks you to save your file. You must do this or the file is lost. It'll be recorded in FBR, which is the flashback recorder format. So that means that we then need to look at changing it into an AVI file and moving on to the next, and then to compress it. Oops, apologies. There you go. So now I've got to prepare the file for upload. Now there are two parts to the encoding process. The first is you have to export the file, which is an FBR file, to AVI, and then compress that AVI file, which will be very big for use on the internet. So this is how you do the export to AVI. You need to open the BB Flashback Player, which is the second part of the BB Flashback program that you have, and drag your recorded file into it, or press File Open and open the file. Click File and then Export. But sometimes you do get an export button. For some reason mine disappeared on the player, but anyway, File, Export, and then you have an option of exporting to Flash or exporting to AVI. Click AVI. On the options, choose full frame rate, and then in the scaling section you can scale the width down, which will usually be about 1000 to about 410. This is optimal for PokerTube, I'm told, and I've had a lot of success. It keeps the file smaller, and it also helps the, it's the right size already for what you see on the PokerTube screen. Choose the AVI codec, which is the bottom of the list, full frames, brackets, uncompressed. This exports the FBR file into an AVI file, which is uncompressed, so it's very big. You can expect anything from a 6 GB file to an 11 GB file if you're closer to the hour limit for PokerTube. But don't worry about that, because you're going to compress it further, so it's not a problem at all. So after you've encoded the AVI file, we now need to compress that file so it's suitable for uploading to the internet and using on PokerTube. On PokerTube you have a 100 megabyte limit and a 60 minute length limit, so just bear that in mind. So you open up Microsoft Expression Encoder 4 program, and again, using either File Open or drag and drop, import the large AVI file, so you're not dealing with the FBR file anymore, you're working on the AVI file into that program. Click Encode at the bottom. Now I haven't played around with the settings, but I have found that an 11.6 gigabyte file I got down to about 80 to 87 megabytes using the encoder. Everything looked fine, and it was fine on PokerTube, the right size and everything, so I'm happy. If it's not broken, don't fix it. But you might want to play around with it, see if you can maybe squeeze a few more files out of it. The smaller the better, but really as long as it's under 100 megabytes and under 60 minutes length and it looks good, it's best not to play with too much to get that wrong. So the encoding process takes about 10 minutes, and then you have a nice AVI file that is a lot smaller, encoded, compressed, looking good, ready for PokerTube. So at that point you would then go to PokerTube, you would upload it and wait for it to appear and see how it looks. Obviously the first few videos you do, you might have to play around with a few of the settings, but you should be pretty close to getting a really good video if you follow these steps. So just to summarise finally, you go to the two sites on the earlier slide, download the free versions of BB Flashback Express Recorder, the player that comes with it, which I think is part of the bundle, and Microsoft Expression Encoder 4, which is a separate program. You record your video with BB Flashback Recorder and export it using the player as a large AVI file. You compress that AVI file into something much smaller using Microsoft Expression Encoder 4, and you upload to PokerTube in the normal way, and you just check that your file is smaller than 100 megabytes and under the 60 minute length limit. Now I hope you've enjoyed this video. I have done a few other videos. I'm no poker expert, but if you would like to, just to give us a quick plug, you can check out our weekly poker radio show, where I'm joined by Gary Hurst, who's a professional poker player from Texas, and Gareth Whitty, who is not a professional poker player but a very nice guy and a great entertainment, and his blog is available at garethwhitty.co.uk. Gary's blog's there at El Nino 1 elnino1pokerworld.blogspot.com. I'd love it if you bought GaryHurst.com, it's so much easier, but anyway. And our site where we all take a poker blog is itsawinner.co.uk, and our weekly poker show is every Tuesday at 8:30 PM Greenwich Mean Time, that's UK time, or 3:30 PM Eastern Daylight Time in America. And you can download archived shows and everything if you go to our It's a Winner site, it's all on there. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it helps you make excellent poker videos in the future. And if you want to email me at mal@itsawinner.co.uk, I'm more than happy to send you a copy of these slides so you can have the links, etc., if you couldn't read them before. And we'll look forward to seeing you on our future PokerTube videos and on the radio show each Tuesday. So thanks for listening.